Hi friends, today we're going to read a story about homes that we live in. And sometimes it's called a shelter. So shelter is a place that sometimes we only live temporary or we can live there for a long time. But there are also about homes too. It's a place where we live away from, so we can be safe and we're not out in the rain and we're not getting sick out there, and when it's not too hot for us, not too cold for us, so we can have something that covers us so we can be safe, okay? So let's read about shelters. Let's see what kind of shelter do you live in, okay? Or a home, another word for a shelter is like a home, by Suzanne Canizar and Daniel Morton. There's two authors and there's two photographers. So they both share the work in this story. A shelter is a place to live. It can be a lighthouse. See, a lighthouse, people used to live in a lighthouse. So when it's foggy, they can turn on the light so they can guide the boats coming in the ocean or from the bay, so that people can see where they're going on the boat so they don't crash. Okay? Or on houseboats. See, these homes are floating in the water. And you can take it wherever you go in the ocean. Isn't that awesome? Or in the river. It could be a clay hut. Or it could be an adobe. So these houses are made more for people who live where it's super duper hot. And they need to keep themselves nice and cool. So adobe houses are made out of straws and dirt. And so it'll be nice and cool in there once you go and take shelter in there, okay? So there's people that live in these homes. And they were American Indians that used to live in these homes. They were so smart because most of them the people that lived in these homes are in the desert, and it's super duper hot in the desert. You do not want to stay out in the desert during the day. It can be a skyscraper. For us, these are like apartments. Maybe one or two of these windows belong to one person living there. So you can be living in a skyscraper. It's where there's so many people in towns, in the city, that there's no more room to live, and they have to build on top of each other, like more and more floors, so they stack on top of each other, so they're apartments. Maybe two of these windows is one apartments, okay? Or a townhouse. These are all separate homes. Yeah, but they're all connected to each other, kind of like our apartments here. So in big cities, you will see townhouses like this and skyscrapers. Our city is kind of small, so we don't have too many of this skyscraper stuff. Or it could be a farmhouse. People who likes to raise animals and grow things, they like to live out on the farms. And then here is a log cabin. If you like to go, a long time ago, the settlers, the people that first came to California, they like to live out in the log cabins. Now it's just a time for us to go spend the weekend and kind of camping out with our family. And some of us don't like to sleep in tents, so we like to rent out a cabin. You can live in a shelter for a long time. They're living out in the country, where you can still raise animals. And then, or you can build for a short time, and you just stay there for a short time, maybe overnight. See, and in the Arctics where the Inuit people lived, they can build, this is called an igloo home, and they can build a shelter there for 1 hour, and they can finish the little igloo home here, and they can stay overnight and go hunting, or they can make bigger ones, and they can connect a tunnel in between both of them, and they can actually live in there for several months until the sun comes and melts the homes away, okay? Then they'll have to find another kind of different home to stay over the summer. But these people now usually don't live in there. They only make these houses now when they go hunting. But now they live in normal homes like you and I do. And a shelter is a home. So what kind of homes do you live in? Or shelter do you live in? Let Ms. Vang know, okay? Do you live in a home or do you live in a tent? Do you live on a houseboat? Do you live in adobe homes? Let me know. I would like to hear your response on Learning Genie, okay? Have a wonderful day.